you guys quiet? We're filming, okay? We're rolling. Please be quiet.
If we call them over, then I want them to come over here and be all over here.
Thanks for coming to Comedy Sandbox. I know you're very busy. Thank you for taking time out of your schedule. This is a very special episode of Comedy Sandbox. We're highlighting one of the businesses down here in Provo. They have been open since 1999, and they're having their 20-year anniversary on March 9th, 2019.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
I concur.
Tell us how ComedySportz got started. What made you even want to open a ComedySportz in Provo?
The first time I saw a show, I had never seen improv before, but I loved it. It made me laugh. It was clean, very different from stand-up, and I just thought it was a great idea to start one in Provo.
Where did you see this ComedySportz?
Raleigh, North Carolina,
Is that where you're from?
my hometown.
Why Utah?
Because I was at school here in Utah, and there was not a ComedySportz here yet, and this guy wasn't here yet either.
Since I was the last born.
You're the last born. So Provo just seemed like a great place because a lot of people, when they started, they seem to be college towns or kids looking for date nights, things to do.
Yeah.
We're surrounded by colleges here, and it just seemed like a win-win.
5 kids later, seems like a
And
big
skip to
win-win.
5 kids later.
Yeah.
Win-win.
What were the logistics of getting ComedySportz started here?
I moved here before '99.
Okay.
And I was in school, and then I left, took a break, went back, actually saw the show, and I came back to finish school, but instead I decided that I would start ComedySportz. And
What were you going to school for?
acting, creative stuff.
Creative stuff? You're still doing
And,
creative stuff,
yeah,
so
still doing
that's
creative
in the
stuff.
same vein.
So acting, I was into acting actually, BYU, but I just really wanted to start this, and so looked around for a place and found one on Center Street.
On University.
On
First one,
University, yeah. First one was on University, and we opened up Friday nights. We had a show on Friday nights.
Mm-hmm.
So when I was gathering people, I just put flyers around kind of a BYU campus, a couple other places, called some theaters. That's where I got Curt's name. And they only gave me one name. They said, we don't give our list out, but you might try this one guy. I think because I said improv, you have to be quick on your feet, and he was. So we came down and we started rehearsing at the place that we were going to do our shows, just this little restaurant that had like bands that would come in on a little stage. Yeah, we practiced in the basement. We had like 10 people on our roster. First, we practiced for a couple months, and then we opened in March of '99, our first show.
Cool. Are you still quick on your feet?
Yes.
Physically?
As much as I need to be, yeah. With the kids, yeah. Definitely.
So when Tonia went and talked to the Hale Center, what did the Hale Center tell you?
They didn't say
about-
anything. She called up and said, hey, the Hale Center Theater gave me your name. And I didn't know anything about improv. I thought it was like kind of a frat boy little club goof-off thing. And then one of my friends, who was an actor as well, said, this would be the best thing for your acting. If it scares you, do it. But improv will definitely help your acting. So I called her back and said, okay, tell me what this is. She invited me down to a workshop, so I went down.
And what did you think?
I was pretty standoffish. I just wanted to observe and just watched people do it. And it looked like people were rehearsing.
Disastrous.
It looked like people were rehearsing a play that didn't have a script. So I was like, no one knows what they're doing. But it was just a bunch of funny guys. And there was one guy, and I can't remember his name. He was a little older than me, and he was kind of studying to be the ref. And I think Tonia said, you and he might be my guys that MC the show. And I was like, well, I don't know if I can do that, but I don't know if I can do anything. So I'm just going to watch. So I did. I ordered food from the restaurant, and I left.
So this was part of a restaurant too then? Like you were
Yeah.
paired with a restaurant?
Yep.
It was next door. It was like a performing area, and then there was a big walkway between them, and you could go in and order food and stuff like that, and then bring it back in. And
Is that place still around?
no,
It's
no,
gone.
no.
Ah.
But
Matter of fact,
we're still around.
we kept
We
it
are.
open. It was weird. They stopped doing bands and they stopped doing food, and we went for.
We had a
more-
year there. We stayed a year there. They shut their location down, so we just relocated right around this corner here, where we are now. We've been here
Yeah.
Ever since.
ever since.
What was this space before it became ComedySportz?
It's funny.
I
Tonia
don't-
has a story about this
I
space.
worked here in college.
In
It
this
was,
room.
It was
In
a-
this room,
In
yeah.
this very room. It was called the Trading Post, and you could bring clothing in, and we would sort through clothing and go, okay, yeah, to resell. But I mean, I never, I wasn't thinking of Comedy Sports back then, but I just thought it was hilarious. And then it was something after
It was
that.
a computer PC lab.
Yeah, we
PC.
still get their old mail 20 years later. I guess they haven't, whoever sends them mail just hasn't gotten them.
Are they the Glick name that
Yeah.
comes
Yeah.
through?
Mhm.
That's them?
it. Yeah.
That's them.
Yeah.
Okay.
20 years ago.
We
They
got
didn't
one like
last-
3
they
weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, they they didn't last very long, I don't think, because it had been sitting empty, I think,
Yeah,
for
for
a
a
little
while.
while. And then we just thought, we love the downtown area down here. We thought it'd be a good location for it.
So we did the whole build out. There were offices, there was an upstairs, there were stairs that went up to it, rooms. We took everything apart carefully, stacked it, and then rebuilt every. Matter of fact, the sound booth, that was the staircase that goes up.
We cut it off and used it.
You can see all the little bars that are on it.
We were on a budget.
That's the railing that was on the stairs. And the stairs that go up inside, those were the actual stairs that went up. I just cut those
We
shorter.
recycle.
We didn't spend a
do.
dime. We didn't spend a dime to build this stage. We reused
used
everything.
Comedy Sports labor. All of our players came and helped build the
We
stage.
did buy paint. Paint and
bought
carpet.
paint.
That was it.
And chairs. We had to buy chairs. Chairs are still here, people.
So these are all the original chairs and
Not all of them.
original
No.
carpets.
No,
Some of our
carpet's
patrons have worn a few of them out.
The carpet's been replaced. Upstairs
Carpet's
flooded. Everything kind of crashed in the
Yeah, we did have a
Ceiling.
flood one year.
What year was that?
like 2001, something like that. Right after.
Yeah, it wasn't too long after we've been open, but it's okay.
Yeah.
We got
Everything's
new
still
carpet
standing?
from it, so it was good.
Yeah.
You got this nice maroon look. It's very warm
Yes, we
feeling.
did. We like that. We
Like
didn't want
the
it
dark.
black.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know the carpet is like a year old now.
Mm-hmm.
That finally
That's
got
probably the
replaced.
fourth carpet, fourth or fifth.
generation.
Yeah. Mhm. Do you know we used to have lines on it like a baseball diamond? There was a home plate up there, and that's what the box.
Oh, we
jumping
need to
out
do
the
that
box.
again. Put that on your list of things to do.
Yeah.
Add it to my
It
list.
It was
Baseball
it was
diamond.
white gaffers tape, and so people would stand behind the lines on the jump outs, and then there was a box up front that was like the pitcher's mound.
Yeah.
So that was the box. You're in the box.
Yep. It makes sense now. We
Yeah.
say you're in the box, and everyone's
No
like,
one knows why.
What box?
Yeah. There used to be a
Box
box.
Speaking of baseball diamond, I heard that you dated a baseball player before you met Curt.
He used to be a baseball player.
He used to be a baseball. So this guy was like retired before he even got big.
He played baseball at the U of U, so I couldn't marry him because he's at the U of U.
You. So you were dating him at the time, and then you brought Curt in. How did that blossom? Because you were dating.
That
him, right?
ended
And then
in with 5 kids.
I'm trying to see how Curt broke it up, or you broke
No,
it up.
it went its own course with her.
Yeah, we
and-
were just friends, but he was just an excellent ref. He was he was natural, and I said, this is who I need to run the shows, and
be
he was still
part of
doing
your
plays
life.
and things like that. Yeah, and well, no, not that time.
Just
Part of my-
cheaper to marry me than hire me.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah.
anyway, yeah.
Now her relationship ended naturally, of its own causes, and then we just happened
Its own
naturally
causes.
after that.
We were deceased,
Yeah.
and then we decided that we would get married, and because we couldn't afford each other
So yeah.
without
we were on a budget.
marriage.
So.
Yeah,
So-
I couldn't pay him per show.
Your whole wedding was recycled from another wedding, right?
Comedy
you got
Sports
all the-
players performed the ceremony
At our wedding?
Yeah.
No.
We had a lot of Comedy Sports players there.
Oh, yeah.
Matter of fact, this coming
But they did not
Saturday,
perform the ceremony.
No, they didn't. They didn't perform.
But they were there at the reception.
And we're going to have a few of them in the show that were there at the reception.
Yep.
Tell me everyone that's going to be there, and like your original cast that you're bringing back for it.
Well, we've got at our reception we had Theron and Joseph and Micah.
Mm-hmm.
I know those 3 are in the show.
Darren?
Darren, yeah, he was at the reception, but I don't think he's going to be in the show. Derek was at the reception as well. I think we had a couple others that, like McLean, who's gonna McLean's in the show, but he was on a mission at the time.
Yeah. The LDS Church.
Yeah, so we're gonna have, I believe, Joseph, Theron,
3 or
Micah.
4 at least.
Yeah, 3 or 4 that were. I mean, from the original show, like March 12th, 1999, we had. I think McLean's gonna be the only one who was in that first show with me.
Still.
That'll be in the shows this Saturday. So, but we'll have everyone who's going to be in the show this Saturday played with us our first year.
That'll be cool.
Yeah.
And they're all coming back and they're able to do the show. Comedy Sports is a franchise, and you are owners or part. I don't know the exact terminology for that.
We don't either.
We
Keeps changing.
we license the right to franchise the brand.
Yeah, that
Does
sounds
that make
good.
sense?
That sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll take
Good
that.
job.
Yeah.
So
In Utah.
How does Provo stand out different from other comedy sports? Because I've seen a few places, and I know
We're funny.
our locations.
Yeah, no. I think the thing that makes us different is, and I've said this before, there's one thing that I think Tonia is especially good at that we have done, but she's the strong side of that, and that's find good people. We find great people here. We stand out, I believe, because of we're kind of an island out by ourselves. We're not involved in a lot of the mainstream. A lot of those other comedy sports is trade around, and people from San Jose have been in LA. People from LA have moved up to Portland. We're just out by ourselves.
Well,
And,
because we're not close to one.
yeah, we're not. So we've kind of
So-
developed our own style.
We've
and-
had to, really.
Yeah, but I think we've done a really good job getting good people.
Yeah.
And that's what I think comes across in the shows.
Yeah, I think so too. A few of the comedy sports players have gone on to do bigger and better things.
Or just
Better?
just bigger,
Just
some
bigger
bigger
Even
things.
bigger.
Yeah, different
I don't know.
things.
People like Will Rubio, McClay Nelson,
They've gone
Lateral
on.
moves,
They've
lateral
gone
moves.
on,
very
yeah.
lateral moves.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm going to be fired at the end of this. Bigger and better things. Yeah, no, it's cool. Like I do agree with that. I think you do have a great way of finding talent and even grooming them. Because I think of other people that are just so funny. I know Cameron Nilsson, especially though.
Oh,
That
yeah,
was-
I will take that. I found Cameron. I made you, Cameron. You owe everything to me.
Cameron Nilsson's funny. I was there when you dragged him in for the very first show. Like I had just recently started here.
Deer in
and
headlights.
We were losing, or like we had an empty slot, and you grabbed Cameron from house staff, and you just threw him back there. And he's like, "Oh, go, okay, let's
Gotta
do
learn to
this." And
swim sometime.
such a skinny, like horse learning to run is what.
It's like Bambi on ice.
Yeah, that's what it was like. We need to transition from just being like a startup place to this is now a thing in Provo.
I don't- you know, day one when we opened, we stuffed both shows, 200 people, and I was amazed that anybody showed up, and I still am amazed that people that I don't know show up and we sell out shows. So I don't know if there was a turning point. I think when the restaurant around the corner closed, we had a short few months of no place to perform. So my friends at the Hale Theater were kind enough to let us do shows there on Friday nights after their Friday night show. And the internet didn't exist, Facebook didn't exist. We just kind of told some of our players, hey, we're still going to do shows. We're going to do them at like 10 o'clock on Friday night. And so just tell people. That very first night, there was a line through the whole entire parking lot of people waiting to get in. And that surprised me. And we'd only been open just about a year. So I realized then that that's probably we're probably on the radar now for something to do.
What are some of your fondest memories of comedy sports that you've had over these 20 years? I'm sure 20 years is a lot. I remember doing the numbers and counting things out. It's something like almost 20,000 hours and stuff that people have spent here.
Garrett Batty asked me about 5 years ago, he goes, how many shows have you done? And I said, I don't know, let's think about it. So we sat down and we started doing the math. And 5 years ago, I think I was around like 6,700 shows. And that, I don't know.
Yeah, when we first did, we didn't have kids. When we first got married that first year, we just every night we were open, and we were open Friday and Saturday, doing 2 shows a night. We were down here all the time.
Yeah.
Then we'd all go out to eat afterwards, and it would we became really close and spent a lot of time together with our ComedySportz players. But I don't know if it's kind of just been word of mouth, because we didn't even, advertising was so expensive. We just felt like this was something that this area needed, because there was nothing like it. It was new, and maybe that's why it caught on. It was clean, but it was funny. It was a good show. It was a funny show. It wasn't like people just doing jokes together in their basement. It was a good, fun show. And we never thought we'd have it this long. We didn't know where it was going to go. People started hiring us.
Funny thing, Tonya, I remember she said she didn't think she would have it beyond the 2 months that the school was in session. Beyond that, she didn't have any plans. She wanted to do it while school was in session, and then people kept coming, so we just kept doing it. So I don't think it was a plan. And as far as memories go of favorite moments, I can't think of favorite moments. I remember there are moments that stand out as funny, but I know that there are other moments that either are just as funny or even funnier.
There's so many. Every show's different. So I mean, every time I see
Yeah,
a show,
it's improv.
I laugh at something. I love my best moments are when I look around at an audience that's filled with kids to senior citizens and see them laughing, and I'm like, this is why we do this. Like, people still love this. They still come here, and so as long as they do that, I always hope there's going to be a comedy sports show for them to come to. Those are the best moments. That and Joseph Drashel, every time he jumped off and didn't break his leg miraculously from the
Jump off
backdrop.
the balcony?
Yes, any of those moments.
Or break. So he's broken other
Break
people,
something.
but
Yeah,
not
broken
himself.
other people, but
He's
not
never hurt himself. The only
Those
moment
miraculous moments.
I can only think of a few moments that stand out as funny. One is when we were doing replay and Darren Tufts passed out and we had to give him mouth to mouth. We did it again, and we did it in the style of Pinocchio, and he was the whale. So he was laying down on his stomach, and somebody said, "You got to give him mouth to mouth." And they said, "Where?" He's a whale, and they said the blowhole. And there was only one hole on the backside of Darren. And I just remember his head popping up, looking around like, "Ain't no one going near the blowhole." kind of a moment.
Oh my God.
Those stop shows. Patrick Livingston in Hawaii at the remote. We've had moments where audiences laugh so long. You know,
Now,
there's
what's a remote
pause.
for those
A
people
remote
who
is
don't?
when a company hires us and we go out on location and do a show there remotely. So we were hired by BYU Hawaii to come out and do 3 nights of shows, and we did one called Acronym Panel. And that's just, we get acronyms from the audience and we find out what they really mean, but then they mean something to our panelists. And he was the BYU Hawaii's homecoming queen, 7 years running, and we got BYUH as the acronym. And he said, you know, as the BYU homecoming queen, it doesn't stand for BYU or Brigham Young University Hawaii. It stands for because you're ugly, Howley. And that's Howley is a term for a white person, and that stopped the show. I
Specifically
mean,
in the islands.
we had people standing
I
up
like that
and
joke.
running outside on their phones, calling people. I mean, it probably was literally about 15 minutes, but it felt longer than it felt like forever. We had to get control of and Patrick will tell you, he just stood there and he just was shaking. He didn't know what to do. I sat down. We had to get control of the audience. It was crazy. So moments like that stand out, but they happen every weekend.
Yeah. You recently came to one of the shows last night. Do you feel that our shows have stayed the same?
I think across the board we have good shows. We have good shows. We keep training our people and we keep running workshops and following the rules of improv. And so I think we're consistently good. If we weren't good, I don't think that we would still have Comedy Sports. It wouldn't still be going.
Yeah.
We sold out last night, or yeah. I think that says something.
Practically sold out twice. When you were back there and you were watching us, we all saw you. And we all got a little tense. We're like, oh no, Tonia's here. Let's make sure that Cameron doesn't wear his hat. But
No hats on stage.
did you see the same thing with this audience though that you remember seeing back when you first
Always,
opened up?
always. Everybody's laughing and having a good time, and I love that. I love to sit in the back, and I love to watch the people enjoying this and having a good time.
Yeah.
That's why we have it. That's the sole purpose. Because we're not making any money on this thing, so.
Public service.
The players like seeing you back
Laughter.
there too, despite what
They
you
like
guys
to
think. We actually like to see you back
You
there
do?
too.
But you don't like
It's
the
cool
notes
for
I give
us.
after the show?
No, we like the notes too.
Yeah,
Except
right.
no. So anyone that gets a note, they don't
Uh-huh.
like getting.
They
the
don't
note.
like it. They just
They
like
like
Everyone else,
getting
everyone
notes.
else likes.
Everyone
to have,
else likes watching everyone else
else
get
get
notes.
notes. Yeah. That's
So like
fun.
when you say Cameron, don't wear your hat, everyone's like, ha, and then it's like, Maddie,
Don't call on me.
Maddie, just be a girl, be like a real funny girl. And then I was like, oh,
I still give notes.
yeah,
It's my job. Somebody's got to whip these people into shape. They just run all over the place.
yeah, you're still doing it. 20 years later.
That's right.
Yeah.
Dowsett kids,
Hey, you
come
guys!
here.
Everyone that we've made, come over here.
Come.
Yep, that's you, crew.
Where's
You
20
too.
years of comedy
Where's Step
sports
out?
No, he's right there.
Come here.
has produced.
All these kids.
That's
I think
wonderful
here's the interesting thing about this. All these kids have been on stage because Tonia has reffed as a pregnant ref
That's true.
with all
That's
5
true.
kids.
I think they have all been up here.
Come on, where's Hud?
Where's crew?
He's right here. He's
Okay, come
coming.
over here.
Oh, we've got this too.
Oh, yep.
Yeah, we didn't make her.
Which generation is this one?
This is the new generation. Come on over,
Okay.
all the way over here, Hud.
So what is,
Come over
okay,
on the other
so Ford, what's your favorite thing about Comedy Sports?
How unique it is.
How unique it is, Hudson?
We- Concessions.
Cade,
See my parents up there?
see your parents up
Okay.
there reffing? Cool.
Yeah, I'd love to see your parents up there.
Come this Saturday. I'm reffing this Saturday, 7:30. Most of the 7:30 show.
Haven, what's your favorite thing about Comedy Sports?
The little thing up there.
What little thing?
the balcony.
The balcony. Oh,
Crew.
because they like to get up there. Crew,
What's
what's your
yours?
favorite thing?
Mine is to play with the computer up there.
Oh, and the microphone. He does. He likes to get up there and be
I like
Mr. Voice.
Yep.
Maybe-
None of these guys were born. 17, 15, 13, 10, and 8.
You rattled those numbers off real fast.
I'm the last one.
Last but not
Maybe.
least.
We don't know though. Maybe.
No, I'm the last one.
Maybe.
Then you could be the ref.
I'm the last one. Okay.
Okay. Done.
Well, what if we have another baby?
That sucks
We're not
for
having
me.
another baby.
If we're gonna have another baby, it better be a girl.
It better be a girl.
It
You're right.
better not be a girl since I've been chased by 20 girls at school.
Okay.
Is this the way that you're announcing that Tonia's having another
No,
child?
nope, not coming on. I'm making any announcement.
No.
When's the gender reveal party?
Yeah, when it's 18.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Can we leave now?
You
Yeah.
can go.
We can leave now.
Okay, last thing. For all future, past, and present Comedy Sports fans, people who support the shows and are going to be here, what's one thing that you want to tell them that they should know about Comedy Sports Utah?
We will always put on shows here at Comedy Sports as long as people. Our job will be to keep putting up the good talent, keeping it clean, keeping the option here. As long as people keep coming, we're committed to being here. I look forward to this interview for year 25, year 50. So we're not. Comedy Sports isn't going to go anywhere. And yes, we're going to keep the same decorations until Matt Clayton comes down and changes them himself.
I actually don't mind these decorations. I think
Good.
it's a
They
good
all have
nostalgic.
history.
Yeah, it is.
Except that one with the random guy.
That has the most nostalgia.
Everyone
That's his
asks
random
me
guy.
if that is me in high school, and it's a little offensive because that's clearly from the early 70s, and I did not graduate from high school in the early 70s.
When did you graduate from high school?
Mid 80s,
Okay.
so that's way off.
You don't even have to say that.
I just before
Expose your age.
2000, before the year
Get off
2000.
the floor.
Okay,
Still parent.
yeah. So what's one thing you want to say?
I say thank you to everybody who came because without people, there's no show.
Yeah.
Or there's a show, but it's really quiet. And I love that people keep coming back to this show because our advertising is word of mouth. So it's a compliment to us. It says that we're doing something right. And my contribution, I think, to this community and to this is to put something good out there, good entertainment, because there's a lot of bad entertainment. And I am really happy that people choose to spend their time at Comedy Sports and their money at Comedy Sports. And that just tells me it's worth it. And to keep putting good shows out there so there's somewhere people can bring their families, bring their dates, whatever, bring themselves to come and laugh at something good and clean and enjoyable.
Well, thanks for coming down. Thanks for doing this interview and talking about the last 20 years. If you want to come watch them and see the players that they produce and everything here, go to ComedySportsUtah.com. They have shows every Friday and Saturday, 7:30 and 9:30 p.m. Also, in addition to that, Thursdays at 8 p.m., there's a variety comedy night, and it's only $5. What do we do on our Thursday shows?
Whatever we want. We don't care. It's $5. We don't care what we do.
Yep, $5. It's great money, well
Yeah.
spent.
It's a deal.
Give them a hand out there.
No,
Be
we
sure
applaud
to-
you.
Yeah.
Applaud you guys.
All right. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, and all that stuff. Bye.